Hi everyone, and thanks for tuning in for the first Zebrah podcast. I'm Pauline, lead singer of the band Zebrah, and host this evening. Very honored to be joined by four wonderful ladies, musicians, and friends. Anastasia, London-based singer-songwriter. She just released a new single called Her, out on the 2nd of April. Anastasia makes very unique tune that I would describe as being melancholic, a little soul-y and alternative. Yeah. Then Cuss, brilliant jazz vocalist, singer-songwriter, graduated from ICMP, also based in London. She released a wonderful EP back in 2019, and she's working on new tunes, I think. Then FVRmind, aka Iona, right? Lead singer of the melancholic trip-hop alternative rock band FVRmind, very active on releases at the moment. She's about to drop a new single on the 23rd of April with FVRmind. Then Nina Anto, a Polish-born singer-songwriter currently studying at the prestigious BIM London. Nina, aka Tosia, aka Antonina, has already released lots of nice tunes, some of which are pretty political. We might talk about it tonight. In fact, tonight is a little special. I took the initiative to organize this event as a way to celebrate the release of our next single with Zebrah. It's called Hey Mama, and it will be out on the 16th of April. Usually, we would have thrown a gig sharing the stage with other bands throughout the night, but it's pandemic. So instead of sharing dance moves, drinks, and sweats, we'll share thoughts on a few different topics regarding the music industry, being a woman, and the pandemic. The podcast will be divided in 4 conversations topics. I will set up a 10 minutes timer for each topic, and we will listen to the girls' music in between each topic conversations, though not any music. A few months back, I've asked the girls if they'd be interested in composing composing on top of a sample from the drums of Hey Mama, the single was about to get out. It was about to be released, and they said yes. So what you'll hear tonight is basically a featuring between Chris, Zebrah drummer, our drummer, and the girls. I hope you are ready, because we're starting the first topic. So the first topic is being in your 20s in the middle of pandemic. So I've read many articles throughout 2020 that explain that this year is a wasted year for many young adults. So I just wanted to talk about it. And I first want to ask you girls, how are you? Like, how are you really?
Oh shit. That was how are we really? To be honest, I mean, I have my ups and downs. I don't know about you girls, but like I have my ups and downs, moments of despair, kind of when you go like, oh, everything, like I have no idea what's going to happen next, and it stresses me out so much because like obviously the pandemic has taken away so many things from you. Like we haven't been able to rehearse with our band members or anything for like a year. There hasn't been any gigs or anything, so sometimes I feel quite, you know, empty and hopeless. But then again, it has given me opportunities to like, you know, work on myself and work on my music. I don't know, how do you girls feel?
I think this year was like can be taken as being spiritual, kind of like, you know, like an individual growth. But to be hard, like I always wonder, like, was it like sometimes, you know, like I was 23 when the pandemic started, and now I'm 25, and I'm like, you know, like I'm getting old and nothing is happening.
Yeah.
For me, actually, it was one of the happiest periods of my life. So it's very interesting because I finally had time like to really work on myself. And I think that made me feel very happy, like discovering who I am, like and knowing myself better. And also I had time to create, so I felt like okay, I didn't even post much stuff on social media. I was just like, I just want to lock the door, stay in my room and create. This is the time, you know.
I love that.
Let me stay here. I'm gonna I don't know, come out from the cave one day, but
one day.
One day. So far I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, I talk with people who say that they are scared of the post-pandemic because they're not like they are happy.
Oh my god, that's me. Literally. Like, I don't know, for me personally, that year was, I don't know, it was so, I wouldn't say it made me happier, but it definitely made me more peaceful and kind of like, whatever, we don't really know what's going to happen today, and we never really knew. And what if some weird stuff just happens one day and the world will never going to be the same after that, and like just adapt and move on, nothing is forever. And it was also nice not to work in retail. Maybe that just made me way more peaceful.
Oh man, wait, were you furloughed?
Yeah, but then we all got kicked out, so now unemployed team. But yeah, still kind of that gives me hope, because maybe if they wouldn't have kicked me out, I would still be working for them. It kind of
There'd be like more opportunity because so many people left.
Yeah, true.
Sneaky face, you're like I love how I'm like, it's sad that so many people left, nobody's there. You're like, oh, are there jobs for me?
Yeah.
Hopefully, yeah.
Am I saying like I think it's the first time since 10 years that the London population is actually getting down.
Yeah.
Yeah, dropping down.
Yeah, and Brexit as well.
Yeah,
I'm wondering.
That's another podcast, though.
That's another. That we need like more time.
We're already going to go into deep topics. So let's not. I mean,
talking about topics. Have you, like, with this pandemic thing, like that has been going on for 1 year? Have you experienced changes in your relationship with others?
Yes, I personally have sort of found myself reevaluating a lot of my relationships, friendships that I had out of convenience and physical proximity, kind of either fell by the wayside or became really intense and really close. So those who I was kind of becoming less close with, I sort of don't see anymore. Well, I don't see anyone anymore, but you know what I mean. And those who I have made an effort to maintain a relationship with and a friendship with has usually been mutual, and we've become even more close. I also think that I don't know if any of you guys live with a partner and have lived with a partner through the pandemic, but my boyfriend moved in last September, so it was only like 5-6 months he'd been here before we went from being like living separately, and he lived all the way out in like Sydenham, so it was completely on the other side of London, to being so like far. Yeah, very far. So yeah, so it was like a bi-monthly visit rather than like every day. And you know, we live in London, so the flat's not big. You know, it's a 2-bedroom flat, and we went from that to being on top of each other. So there was every chance that it could have been really stressful, but it's been so helpful to like have that knowledge that okay, a global pandemic can hit and we can still be here and like still have our silly little fun and like dance around the flat and be stupid and like literally have to make your own fun because there's nothing outside that you can do. So I personally, the most comforting thing that I got from that was in my relationship with Kit, who I actually wrote the track with. Well, we'll probably chat about later, but I think the thing for me is realizing who is more important than I thought, and like vice versa, I guess. So that was a pretty big deal for me, you know.
Yeah,
that's really nice.
completely. Like, pandemic forced us to be locked at home, and I was so lucky. I was locked with favorite people around. And first, I was with my family for a few months. And that was nice because we could fix some stuff and just enjoy the time. And it's not very common for us because I moved out like 4 years ago. And then with my friends here in London, it was amazing, and it is still amazing. I really enjoy it. And then I also managed to like find a boyfriend in pandemic, which is kind of funny.
Tell us how you find a boyfriend. Like you've been searching throughout the pandemic. Like, where is he?
Yeah,
Where is he? Where did you find him?
It's also a funny story because he used to be my best friend. He's still, but
Wait, who is it?
he lives in the States. He lives in California, and he came to visit me. And yeah, he thought like I will do a quarantine in the UK instead of Poland on the way because he's Polish. And he stayed 2 weeks here, and then
because
and then yeah.
So it's interesting.
Because how do you date in pandemic? All the time when
No. I don't know. Sorry.
And other than like relationships, how did you manage to like keep yourself together? Like
I didn't.
Does it look like we're kept together? Does it? No, honestly, I think like friendships in general has helped me a lot, and like the people you live with, like all of you said as well, but like being like really close with your flatmates and like talking about things like that has helped me a lot. And just like doing fun things together, like you and Kit, like we're dancing around the house, you just like make up your own fun. Like we've had themed nights, we decide a dinner for every night of the week, and we're like, oh, like, so we have something to look forward to because food is awesome. And so we like plan everything out. Indeed. And you know, and like make something special every now and then, and like, you know, like hype up a movie night and have like watch all of the Lord of the Rings movies or like all the Harry Potter ones. Just like make it an effort to like do something together even if you can't leave the house. I think that's like that has helped me a lot.
And in the end, it's like the little things that
and just like
like the movie Soul, Disney. Have you watched that?
Oh, I love
Which one?
Oh yeah, 1st of January this year. Oh.
It's a bit more like little things.
I thought you said Saw the first time, Pauline.
Yeah.
Like, Saw.
Kept me sane.
I was like, so romantic. You guys are weird.
The movie.
I did see it. It's glorious.
But it's a little bit about that. I feel like that little things. The little things that makes life happy.
Yeah, and also being creative in general.
Yeah,
has helped me a lot. Yeah, just like drawing a lot. I bought a tattoo gun, you know, did stick and poke tattoos, and just like drawing a lot, making a lot of music, you know, just like the things that lets your brain kind of just like be floaty and creative. I think that really helps a lot.
Yeah, it's the like least harmful form of escapism because
exactly
pretty bad.
Exactly.
And my last question about that topic would be like, you know, with this whole it's the time, but let's keep on just for that. You know, like with this all there's been Black Lives Matter. The pandemic is like a result of an ecological and economical crisis. I mean, also like a crisis in general, like social and everything. And do you feel like, as the next generation, do you feel a responsibility to change the world, especially since 2020?
I feel like every generation has a responsibility to make it better for future generations. I think we're probably the most sensitive generation, but I also think that's a good thing. I think the whole snowflake political correctness gone mad thing is just an excuse for people to be bigots, to be honest. I think it's a way of shaming people out of trying to take a stand and like be really earnest and vulnerable and believing in something that's actually really important. And I think it's always been like I said, every generation's responsibility to try and make stuff easier and better for their grandkids, great grandkids. But I think this year has forced us all to be more introspective than we ever have been. I also think that, you know, us having globally more time on our hands has been more time on social media and looking at things, and the whole doom scrolling thing where you just get sucked into a rabbit hole of news and politics and arguments, and some of them are pointless, but I think some are things that need to be said. And I think that the outrage that has been felt over events like George Floyd's death and things like that is absolutely overdue. And
yeah, I agree.
I truly don't believe, unfortunately, that incident would have gained as much attention as it did had we not all been in a pandemic and had so much time to look at our phones. And I think that's wrong, but that kind of stuff is not an isolated incident, and I think not enough people are aware of that, or they are aware of that and they just kind of go, oh no, doesn't affect me, doesn't matter, you know. So I think that having changed is definitely a good thing.
I think it's not just for future generations, but at this point it is for us, because like, how about we actually stop killing people now on this planet? And also I feel like with the climate change and how extreme it is at the moment, like we might not make it through, not even mentioning grandkids. Like it's for us now to just kind of survive.
I know that a lot of people, and like especially a lot of my young female friends, like when we talk about like kids and stuff, for example, it's like, I mean, some of us are like, yeah, I would love to have kids, but I don't feel like I can do that to somebody. Like, can I bring somebody into a world where I don't know where it's heading? Like, we don't know where it's heading. I don't know what I have to offer you. Like the climate change is real. The racism all over the world is real. You know, like there's so much hate and things that need to like be resolved. And like you said, like it's long overdue. Like it's not isolated events, it's happening everywhere. And it's like, we absolutely need change. And honestly, like we needed change for such a long time. And I think it's important that we all take a part in that and do something, you know. And so, definitely feel responsible for next generations, but also for the people that are, you know, here and trying to like live their life. And you know, sorry. No, you're right. It's just like there's so many things that needs to be changed. Like, and like even looking at like the pandemic now, like there can be a next pandemic. Like if we look at like animal agriculture and like all of these things, and like maybe like okay, I'm gonna stop myself. But there are so many things that we can do and that we should do.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that as musicians, I think we have this ability to change other people's heart. Yeah. You know, because you can touch their heart. So we should be really careful what we are thinking about. Yeah. And because we can actually make a big change. Yeah. But during the pandemic, I realized that probably this change, like we can make through not when we fight, but when we are honest and we say the truth. Mm-hmm. Sometimes a gentle way might be easier to convey. But actually, like we had this opportunity to spend time and dig inside ourselves. Mm-hmm. And now we understand who we are, and now we understand what's wrong. So maybe let's create it, and let's start releasing things that can actually motivate people to change their behaviors.
Yeah. On this,
I think that's really nice.
We're gonna close that beautiful topic and listen to the first song So Anastasia, you are first.
Oh no.
And voila.
Nice.
Yes.
Nothing is working.
Very emotional.
Wait, I can't come back.
I like it.
Can you hear me? Sorry, I'm having technical difficulties. Yeah, and my phone is dying. Woo.
That was great.
Yeah, I love that.
Thanks. I don't remember how it happened. It was so long ago now, actually. I literally, it was just like me talking to my keyboard guy being like, oh yeah, we need to like jam over this thing. And he was like, okay, yeah, let's do something. And we did something. And here it is. It's listenable.
Definitely, yes. It's more than that.
Oh, wow.
No.
Okay, so don't forget, Anastasia released a song called Her on the 2nd of April.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's start with topic 2, right?
Hmm?
So topic 2, being a musician in the middle of pandemic. So with streaming down and the collapse of live show, it's been a difficult year for artists, especially when we are emerging artists. So first question I must ask is, how's your music going?
Just everybody's like, shall I lie or should I tell the truth? No. Honestly, I think it depends on what you're asking, because I think like, well, there's different aspects to it. So like my music in itself is like, I'm happy with what I'm doing at the moment. I am creating music. Sometimes I find it hard to find inspiration, but like I've been writing a lot of music. I've been producing more of my own stuff. I'm doing a few collaborations with a few different people. I was in Sweden for the first lockdown and I recorded and wrote a whole album in Swedish that's just now being mixed and mastered. But like, so that part, like the creative part, you know, like even though, like I said before, I've had my downs, like don't get me wrong, I was in bed for like a month, like fuck life. But you know, like you know, couldn't create at all. But like, and like missing gigs, because I don't know about you guys, but for me, like live gig is like therapy to me, where I get to like fully go into a song and relive those feelings, but kind of in a safe space where I can choose how to like creatively express them. And not being able to do that has really, you know, been hard. But yeah, anyway, so like the creative side of the music, I think that's going well. But it's, if you're asking like how is it going, like spreading your music, like that's different, I think, because that's been really hard, because like, and like, because you don't go to gigs, you don't see other bands, you don't have that inspiration, you don't have that networking, you don't have that possibility to like, you know, like just that whole experience. And I think so in that sense it's not that great, is it? And like also like not being able to rehearse, like I haven't written music with my band, we've tried, like, but it's not really working out. So like it's been hard in that sense, but it has just like seeing it from a positive side, I forced myself into like out of my comfort zone and started doing everything more myself instead, which has been, you know, good as well, but it's different. But
back in the days, you know, you would go to like, you would do a gig and you would gain followers and you would like gain more public, and you know, it would be like the way to actually like rise as a musician.
Yeah, and like meet people and collaborate with, for example.
Yeah. And so what? So you like you do create, like you are creative, and that's how like you can still make music. But how about you guys? Like, how do you still like make music without the music word being like open?
Okay, so for me, I was really sad about like having my gig cancelled because of COVID. I was supposed to play one gig in Peckham Audio, and I was so excited about that venue. And yeah, I think in one city in Poland as well, like something, and everything was cancelled, obviously. So this was the sad part. Or you know, like something reopened in London, and I got a call like, oh, you know what, you want to play in Peckham Audio, but maybe you can play in 2 days. I'm like, whoa, that's crazy, but what can I do? Yeah, let's do that, you know, let's see, because that might be the last opportunity. So this was a bit crazy, but also I think I understood who I want to be as an artist and what is my style. And I don't really have any songs in this style released. So now I'm working on the material that I feel is the most honest from everything I've ever done. So I think this is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
What about you, girl?
I've been much the same, to be honest. I have found it pretty hard to be motivated because I don't know, I mean, you get most of your motivation from the outside world, from like living life, and as cheesy as that sounds, just doing normal things, seeing other people, and being trapped inside. There's nothing that can trigger it because it's nothing new, you know. That's what I guess inspiration is something that you've never experienced before, or something that you've never seen in a certain light before. But when you're just looking at the same four walls, it's like, what do I even write about? So I have turned to transcriptions. So in lieu of being able to write with my band and my traditional writing partners, I have taken various jazz solos, whether it's like a flautist or a trumpet player or a sax player or a trombonist or whatever, artists that I really respect in the jazz world, and I've listened to their solos, learned them, and written them down, because while I'm not actually doing as much creating as I would like to, I still want to keep my chops up, but I still want to feel like I'm doing something musical with my day every so often, even if it's not every day. So that's been a big thing. And there's a like hashtag on Instagram that's Transcription Tuesdays, and that's been really inspiring. The Facebook group Jam of the Week, I don't know if you guys ever know that, there's a lot of really good jazz musicians on there, so I've been getting a lot of inspiration for that kind of stuff. So definitely less writing, mainly because I really feel like I need to do that in person. I've had one successful writing session over Zoom, and I was really impressed with how well, more so surprised with how well it went over Zoom. But remote writing just isn't for me, because you can't get that satisfying collective energy thing that just kind of works. You can't really put into words, and it's not really there over Zoom. So yeah, so in lieu of that, until I can get back to rehearsal studios and stuff, I've been transcribing stuff, which is definitely reignited my inner like harmony nerd, which is definitely not cool at all, but it's keeping me thinking.
It's super cool.
I really like it. Yeah, it's cool.
I was saying that Denver has a few Instagram TV videos where she's transcribing, and it's beautiful.
I'm gonna check it out.
It's not chill listening, it's very cerebral, so you need to be in a certain mood to listen to it. I'll just give you that disclaimer.
Fair enough.
What do you think about live, like live gigs as like in videos, like through socials?
I fucking hate them.
Yeah, played it once and it was quite a disaster. Also maybe because I'm a little bit of a boomer when it comes to like I don't know, me being on a live stream, anything, anywhere, like even Zoom for me is just some other world. I'm like, oh, what is this? What is this? Oh my God. So it was quite awful. So now I'm in denial that it ever happened. It wasn't me. I don't know.
That wasn't me. I don't know. I think it's just weird as well, because like a lot of the time, like, well, because you want the sound to be good, right? But if you don't have like, if it's not like well recorded, or if like you don't have like the right speakers, or like you want the music loud and you want to be dancing, and if you don't have that possibility at home, it's just not the same, is it? I think.
Yeah, and also you have no influence over what other people can hear. So like if you're at a gig and like the sound person does a shoddy job, you can put it down to one person or one technical issue, whereas you can have all the technology in the world for your own live stream, whereas if someone's listening to it just out of their phone or on some crappy speakers or some earphones, then it's going to sound like your shit, even if you've done a really good job. So it's like you can't control half as much, you know, over a live stream.
Yeah.
Yes.
Even like recording in the house, it's so funny. You try to do that, and then I don't know, someone's ring their doorbell, or I don't know, someone's like ringing, or your neighbor starts knocking the door. Like it's like, oh, I need to do it 15th time in a row.
Yeah, I know.
That we are coming to the end of this topic. It's been a little bit more than 10 minutes. And so we're going to listen to the second song. So Denver.
No, I'm not mad, just disappointed. And you let me down for the last time, and I'm done, I'm done, I'm done, I'm walking away. And I know life is hard sometimes, but you gotta suck it up, move on up. Don't take me for granted, 'cause I know that I'm a lesson to have in your life. So you better treat me nice, or I'm gone, baby. Ooh, I don't know why I fall for it every time, and you let me down for the last time, and I'm calling it in, I'm calling it into all this, I'm walking away. And I know life is hard sometimes, but you gotta suck it up, move on up. Don't take me for granted, 'cause I know that I'm a lesson to have in your life. So you better treat me nice, or I'm gone, baby. Ooh, ooh.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah, it's really nice.
Thank you.
That's great.
Yeah, so nice.
Thank you very much.
You wrote that with Kit, right?
I did. Yeah, so we started with the drum beat. I believe we slowed it down a little bit and took one section of it and just looped that. I think we started off with him playing a guitar riff, and then I did the vocals. Then he added in bass, and I did some BBs for that as well. But yeah, it's the only project I've completed in the last year, so it's pretty good on.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, it's a good one. So
Yeah.
Thank you.
well done.
So
Thank you, guys.
let's start with topic 3. Being a
No break.
Dave.
What?
So you guys are from we all from different countries. Yona, you're from Sweden. Denver, you're from Ireland. Tosia, you are from Poland. And Anastasia, you're from Lithuania, right? Am I saying that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm from France. So my first question is is being a woman in your country different from being a woman in London?
Oh my god. Oh my god. That hit me right in my feelings. Oh my god. I don't even know where to start. It really is different though. I feel like there is this specific life path and a standard for a woman in Eastern Europe in general, that I personally cannot relate to and I don't understand. So yeah, I feel like moving out of there is the best thing that had ever happened to me ever in my life. And now when I imagine going back, I'm like, no thank you. Oof, it is just way more pressure, especially when it comes to appearance. Body shaming is incredible. It's just something else in my country. You literally, every time I go there, I'm scared that my relatives are gonna point out to me that I gained or lost weight or whatever, and it's a normal thing there. I can't put up with this, so I'm like, no, I don't want to go there. I don't want to do this to myself. So yeah, that's my experience.
So maybe I can say something next because I'm from Poland, so it's quite close, right? To Lithuania.
I knew you could relate.
Yeah, I can kind of relate. Yeah, it's completely different to be a woman in London and to be a woman in Warsaw. I'm from the capital city, so I was raised in a very open-minded environment, and that was nice. But the country itself, it's not treating women very well, as you could see, all the strikes happening because abortion. It's not even now. It's almost completely illegal.
We only got that in Ireland fairly recently, and that's pretty close to the UK, so that's horrifying.
And actually, I think it's really not fair that they are not trusting women there. That we can actually we have good intentions, but we know what's the best, and we will do everything that can be good for us. Just a little bit more trust from the government would be nice. And here in London, I can feel I'm free. I can do whatever I want. And even the way I what I put on myself, what clothes, I just can, I don't know, become a flower in a tube and no one will care about that.
Yeah, that's true. What is in Poland is the woman kind of the standard from it's the 60s European, Western European woman, where the woman has to stay at home and the man has to work, or is it not like that?
No, I think it's hard for me to say how it is in Poland in general, because I grew up in the capital, and in my house it wasn't like that. My house was completely liberal when it comes to that. But I know there are houses where but it's probably everywhere in Europe, right, where people want to be traditional. But I think Poland itself is very traditional because it's a very religious country as well. So I think there is a lot connected with that. And this religion is quite often interpreted in a very bad way.
Yeah.
And very controlling way.
Yeah.
And that's why also I think all those abortion strikes like needed to happen. So maybe, I don't know, so maybe some people in Poland can see bigger context, and maybe I just feel like some people there are just so stuck in the traditions, in the history, that they don't know what is going on around, and they are scared of it. Mm-hmm. But they are also forcing other people to stop their lives in a way. Like, you need to adapt to what we want, in the country. And this is what I really don't like about it. And when I think about me moving back to Poland, I feel like I don't want it at the moment, because here I can have a full freedom. And maybe one day when Poland will change, I would be happy to live there, because it's a very interesting place to live as well, especially Warsaw. But now I cannot imagine it for myself.
Yeah.
But what about in Sweden?
In Sweden, well, it's like everywhere, really. Like, maybe it's not as like much on the surface as you see in other countries with like abortion laws, etc., but it's definitely, like, unfortunately rooted in the system, like that being a woman can be quite painful and quite, like, you're not entitled to your own, like, to be completely yourself and to be, like, free from other people's opinion on who you should be and who you are, and people, because you have a woman's body, they think that they're allowed to touch it or comment on it or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's so rooted into the system of the whole world, unfortunately, I think. And it's something that surfaces in every country. And I think it's interesting as well, Tosha, like what you said, that like, oh, but in London I feel more free, and I feel like free and I can be myself. But then again, like, is it freedom if it feels like it's been taken away from you? You're still the same, you remain the same, you just move your body to another place in the world, and then all of a sudden that integrity that you feel about yourself, people try and take that away from you. And freedom should be, you should have that wherever you go. You should be, be able to have that. You shouldn't have to leave somewhere because you feel like you can't be yourself. And obviously, like, for some,
it's maybe more about legal stuff, or like, I don't know, like, you grow up in Poland, it's like not only abortion, but I think like also like sex education, all this stuff, like, I'm not really good at it.
No, that's I'm saying that it's sad that you don't feel that that you don't want to be there because of that. I think that's sad. And I think that's sad that you find freedom when you leave, that it shouldn't have to be like that.
Yeah, like, it's also like judging, like, actually, like, I feel quite like with my family it's amazing, but I feel like a country in general, I can be free, but there are too many things that piss me off around, and I just don't want to accumulate this anger,
Yeah.
I prefer to stay here when I don't see the things, and I feel free. And it's just easier.
No, I understand that. Like, that's but I don't think, sorry, what were you saying, Pauline?
I was going to say, though, I think that the past 10 years there's been some improvement, though, like, because people are speaking up, and like for example, the Sarah Evergard situation, now, like, people are listening, like, sort of. It's tragic, it's terrible, but I feel like the past 10 years people started listening to women.
But they're still only listening to a certain type of woman, though. They're still only listening
the white
to women
women
that look like. They're still only listening to women that look like us.
Yeah, that is a huge problem, though. Like, I think with Sarah, like, that's obviously horrible, and I'm so sad for her and her relatives, and like for like the unsafety we all feel, but also for like looking at, like, there's been a lot of cases where Black women have been murdered, and it's just not given the same attention
every day. Black women, trans women,
Yeah, exactly.
And basically every
non-binary people as well.
Every
like so many
person,
people.
yeah, exactly. Every person who doesn't fit the category of that goes missing and or is assaulted or is killed literally every day, and we don't see it. But it's like, you know, that awful thing of, you know, oh, we all could have been her, or that could have been any of us. And it's like, yeah, and certain face types may be easier for us to relate to because she looks like us, but you know, it's, yeah, you're right, people are listening up, and it's absolutely high time that people listened up. But there are so many other different types of women and non-women who experience this and just go completely under the radar because of a system that favors like whiteness, you know, which I know that's not the topic, and I know that we're talking about specific women, but I also do think, you know, like, where there's no point in like having one of us be free unless we're all free. I'm phrasing that clumsily, but you know what I mean. It's like, if
it has to include all women, like it has to include all women.
If we've experienced depression, then, you know, the job is not done until we can all like feel as free as the other one, because I'm not going to feel good about being free if my other sister is being oppressed, you know what I mean? So I just think that's important to mention as white women, you know.
I was thinking about the same thing.
I was going to ask you if we were all equal as women, so you answered that. We are not.
No. We should be.
We're all equally worth, but we're not being treated like it.
The system,
and we're not. Yeah, and exactly, the system. Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I don't know. I don't know what to say. Like, I completely agree with what you think.
Yes, me too. So I think we can close this topic. That was really interesting.
But for me, I feel like it's so hard to talk about it. Like, I need to say, like, when I talk about the situation of women in my country, I feel like it's so sad, because I love the place where I come from, but I also feel sad about what is going on. So now I feel quite emotional about all this.
I want to hug you.
Oh,
but it's okay to have those feelings. Like, we all experience like growing pains, and sometimes it's hard to like talk about these things because you want to do the right thing and you're not sure if you're doing the right thing. But we have to remember that sometimes we're gonna do the wrong thing, and the only thing we can do about it is learn from it and move on. And of course, like with you saying like an opinion and a feeling that you have, as long as you're not out to like suppress anyone or like, you know, like do something to like, you know, hurt somebody, as long as you're trying to learn and you're trying to just like talk about things and air things out and get them to the surface and get them talked about, I think, you know, that is something, and it's something we all need to do, and to be able to move on and to learn from our mistakes.
Definitely.
Yeah,
for sure.
Definitely.
But yeah, it does hurt, and it will hurt for a bit, you know. But
it's not easy to talk about this stuff.
Yeah, but that gives hope, though.
I hope it will change, so I could feel the same in Poland one day as I feel in London.
Yeah, I hope so. That's the goal.
Yeah, that's the goal I was gonna say. But
on this, the same thing, Anastasia,
of hope, I'm gonna close the topic number 3 and move on to the next song, which is FVRmind.
Wake me up before you break my bones to dust. I've had enough. Please wake me up. I've heard enough. Please wake me up. I've had enough. Please wake me up. I've had enough.
On.
Oh my god, that was incredible. I
That
would
was
listen
great.
to it like all the time.
I enjoyed that.
Hello, my video is stuck.
That was great.
It touched my
Thank you. Oh, thank you guys. That's so nice.
Seriously, that was incredible.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
Thank you. It was my friend Karen from Juno Def played the guitar for me because I did not have the confidence to do it myself. But I'll tell you
I
this:
relate.
since then, I started recording more guitar on my other songs. So in my future songs I will be releasing, you'll hear me playing guitar as well.
That's very cool.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you so much, and thank you, Pauline. Honestly, like it was such a fun project, like to do.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah, it was a good challenge.
Yeah.
It was.
It was like a bit. I had this idea, waking up in the middle of the night. Like
I love those ones.
That's how the best ideas happen.
Yeah, I woke up at 3 in the morning. I was like, oh, I need to do this, and then I asked you guys.
came to you.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm glad. So let's start with topic 4. It's about being a woman in the music industry. So, do you think it's harder to break through as a woman now in the music industry?
Oh,
Then what?
Maybe than men.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant then other times, like other eras. Okay, yeah, in comparison to men.
I think one thing I've heard recently. Sorry,
It's an open question. You can compare it to men. You can compare it to the era.
Okay, so one thing that I've seen a lot from like festivals and stuff, because you know, like people have worked very hard for like women to be a larger like part of like the like. I think this, like there are a lot of female musicians, and I would like, when we talk about women in music, I would prefer it if we talked about the women that are in the music industry instead of talking about the ones who aren't. But I'm gonna say this anyways. So I know that a lot of people have been working really hard to get more females on stages, on like festivals and stuff like that, because like it's been very male dominated. It's been like a lot, and like also like very like heteronormative, very, you know, male dominated, like on a lot of like festivals all around the world. And so like people have been working really hard to get more trans people, more non-binary, more female women on those stages, you know, like, and people worked so hard and fought so hard for that to happen. But now when we see after the pandemic, when people start like booking for festivals and stuff again, there was somebody who did they took out all the names like from the male acts, and there were like 2 people left on the fucking poster because they were like all the other acts were male. And you see that happening across like all the festivals that are booking again. They're only booking male, like male,
and that's across all genres as well. That's
exactly.
Because well, I think I saw that poster, and maybe it was like a metal festival or something. Yeah. Like, but it's not just in that genre. It's the same in jazz.
Yeah. I saw oh sorry, now it's heated, but like I saw Loria, what's her name? God.
Yeah, Loria. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, when she posted on Instagram talking about women in jazz. Yeah. And people are like, oh, but there aren't any women in jazz, and she's like, excuse me, what the fuck? But like
it's the same people who use that logic of like, you know, if a company ever comes under fire for not being diverse enough, and they're like, well, we just don't have any black people apply for this job, and it's like,
yeah, and why is that?
Absolutely, what you're just telling me that type of person just isn't as qualified as the white man.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a joke.
But also, like,
logic,
as like,
which doesn't make sense.
it is, and like, if you're having to just like stick holes in that logic as well, like, you know, like if they're only the one type of person that applies, then obviously you need to change something about your company or something about your festival, because you should be getting more applications from more people, and different kinds of people and diverse people should be feeling welcome to apply for these festivals or these jobs. That is your responsibility when you're having when you have a company or when you have a festival, to get people to feel included and that they can be a part of that. But at the moment, it's just not. No.
Yeah, I mean, this not pandemic. What am I saying? This old pandemic about
pandemic on the brain.
About with Bernie Scott. No, for the.
I haven't heard about it. What is it about?
They organized this gig, and it's like full of white men, and there's like,
it was a big band. It was like a 15-person big band, and there was, I think it was maybe one person of color and one woman, or not even a woman, or something like that. Anyway, primarily white men, I think. And
jazz scene is so important. And this.
Where do you think jazz came from? Who do you think came up with all that? You think it was some white geezer from Hackney? Probably not.
Sorry.
Like,
yeah,
you know, but it's like, oh, you know, we like this is just the majority of people who like play these gigs and stuff, and it's like, it's not an accurate representation of the people who actually are in this scene, you know.
Yeah. No, and
so we definitely need to change the system, but how? Like, how can we change the system to make it more women represent, like to have more women represented? Because they are there. But how do you change that?
It's very hard, how to change the system. So, because I sometimes think like, I don't want, like, I just want to be chosen because I'm good.
Yeah. You know? Not to take a box.
How to make it, like, why it's not working like that? This is my question.
Yeah.
They're choosing just good people because they are good, and it doesn't matter who you are. You know, they're choosing you because you play good music. So why? It's like, how we can change it so it will be this way?
I think there are a lot that has to be done, but I think like what we can actually do actively is to support each other, and to also like realize, because I feel like this has been like always like pushed into my brain from the outer world, that I'm competing with other women are my competition, and we're competing, and there's only one spot. I feel like because that's what we're like made to believe, also from seeing like, oh, there's one woman on this you know, on this whole lineup of like a lot of men, and that makes you like I hate those like that feeling when you feel like, oh, like we should all be supporting each other, we should be sisters in this, and we should lift each other up, but at the same time we're like taught to compete with each other, like there's only one spot, but there's not one spot. I think that probably
derives from the idea of like men being the subject and women being the object, and women existing just to be watched by the male gaze, you know. And it's like, and I find that really uncomfortable. I have to catch myself sometimes if I see another woman doing well, and I like, for the longest time have disagreed vehemently with the idea that like women are in competition with each other, because what are we even competing for? A man's attention, a job, being physically attractive? It's not like pie. There's not only so much success to go around in the world, and if you succeed and you have a good gig, then I'm not going to succeed. That's not how it works. So there's not like a finite amount of like good things to happen, and yet women are like pitched against each other, and again by the system that seems like impossible to break.
And it's hard to admit that to yourself as well, because you feel so shite when you get those feelings of like jealousy from like watching, and then but that's the thing, like growing hurts. It does hurt to admit that,
because it's so petty. It's a very ugly thing to be like, oh, she's doing so well. Like that's nobody wants to, like you said, nobody wants to
feel that, no.
that.
But I think admitting feeling that can help you grow as well, and like
being aware,
like just like being aware and start to support each other more, start to lift like what you're doing now, Pauline. Like I think it's amazing. I think we should do more things like this. And then I think
because I believe that it's by supporting each other that we make it. Because let's say that one of us go a little bit up, then we all go up. If we help each other, it's not like if someone goes up, we all go down. It's like it's a togetherness lift. I don't know if you can say that in English, but you know what I mean.
Actually, definitely. Pauline, like I can observe that we live in the same house, and we like. It's just so interesting that we're not competitive towards each other, and it's so helpful. We do things faster, we can help each other and complement each other in music. And this event as well is just, as you said, Yona, it's just working perfectly. Like this is the event we need.
But I believe that I think at first, like when I arrived in London, and like so 5 years ago, and people would make it around me, I would be like so jealous, sort of thing. But then I thought about it, and it doesn't make any sense, and it's much better to just create sort of group of people and work together, and that's how it works. Like, and that's really how it works. If you look at Zebrah Collective, there were a bunch of friends, and they made it together, like as people. We each have skills, so we should help each other on whatever different areas.
And honestly,
and that's how it works in the end.
Who wants to stand on the top of the mountain completely by themselves anyways? Like, that's not fun. You want to share the joy with other people and inspire each other. Like,
I think this was the case this year. They were climbing together to the top of the mountain, right? It was so beautiful, and they were holding each other's hands and singing, and they made it together at the top, and they are all listed. Like, it was K2. How is this? I don't remember how is it called. This mountain, actually, that people were climbing on this year.
I have no idea.
There was a literal mountain.
Which one?
I thought we were talking about a metaphor, but you mean there's a literal mountain?
Yeah, there was a literal something like that happened this year. So 10 people, around 10 people were climbing together, holding hands and singing, and they made it all together at the top.
I love that.
Search in the internet, they're all listed together, that they like not as one person, it's just all of them.
That's
so nice. So beautiful.
That's the goal. Like, we should do that metaphorically and in
with music.
On this beautiful mountain metaphor that was actually not a metaphor, I'm gonna close the topic. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Like, I wish we could have done that around a table.
Yeah, me too.
Soon.
And tapas, but well, we had. Anastasia is here for the end. Amazing.
Hey, she back.
I'm so sorry. I'm trying from another phone now. Like, I literally do not have a functioning laptop, so it's a mess. But I have my sister's phone, so now you can see my very tired face in better quality. Sorry about that.
I'm very sorry, but we did the topic 4 without you.
Good. All good.
And funnily enough, we were talking about how we should all like lift each other, and then we just kicked you out of the room. But we didn't. Like, we can do this together.
Used to that.
No.
As a woman in a music industry, I'm used to that. I'm joking.
Hey, we're here and we support you and your music.
I know.
And if we were able to sit down at the table, we would have.
I know.
We wouldn't have kicked you out.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, you can try. It's kind of difficult with me.
At least Pauline let you in at the end.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's great. Thank you.
So is Nina Anto.
Hey you, while, you like the profile, 'cause something new will land here soon, and you will love it to the moon. To the moon and back, to the moon and back. I know that 2020 sucked, but with Zebrah's new music, life won't be bad. So get ready, as this is going to be fucking fun.
With us, yes.
Woo! Yes!
So thank you so much, girls, for coming into this beautiful Zoom. Even though there were some technological issues, it was great to talk with you. And so don't forget, our single with Zebrah is getting released on the 16th of April, right? And
putting it in my calendar. Putting it in the calendar.
On my
Bye.
Nice to see you.